Hey, Bern, guess what? It's I, your old pal Ernest. Know what I mean? Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice. I have many voices, but one opinion. And today, I'm gonna start off with another Multi-Voice-Oween. Now, right now, I'm gonna talk about something that I have seen recently. Guys, I've seen that Adam Sandler Halloween special movie called Herbie Halloween. Now, my thoughts about Herbie Halloween for a Halloween special with Adam Sandler in it, I had to be I had to be honest. It was dumb. I mean, it was ridiculous. Dumb. And it kind of make me miss the old-fashioned horror, I mean, kid-friendly horror comedy in my childhood. And one thing I am going to do in my review is I'm going to reminisce about a little something in my childhood. Before I'm going to get to the movie I'm going to talk about, I'm going to introduce you to my childhood icon. My childhood icon goes by the name of Ernest P. Worrell. Now, Ernest P. Worrell, he was my childhood icon besides Mr. Bean and Pee Wee Herman. No, not Pee Wee Herman. I mean, Pee Wee Herman used to be my childhood icon until I heard about what happened, how he was arrested by a cop for indecent exposure in a movie theater, an adult one at that. But Ernest P. Worrell was my childhood icon when I was a little kid, and how he started. Here's a little history. Ernest was played by my favorite actor, Jim Varney. Now, one thing you should know about Jim Varney, he started out as an independent commercial person. He played the character Ernest for certain commercial ads, and most people do remember him from the commercial of a certain milk called Purity Milk. He did Purity Milk commercials and Mountain Dew commercials. Imagine that. And then before he and then after they did those commercials with Ernest, he also played a villain who goes by the name of Dr. Otto von Schnickig back in 1985. And then Ernest started to shine when he appeared in 1987 in Ernest Goes to Camp. And then they did a TV series in 1988 called Hey Bern, It's Ernest. And then they did a Christmas special, which I think I should talk about it during Christmas, and it is Ernest Saves Christmas. And then in 1990, he appeared. Sorry about that. A train passed by. But anyway, back in 1991, there was Ernest Goes to Jail. In 1990, to be precise. And then in 1991, there is a certain movie that I'm going to be talking to you about is, of course, Ernest Scared Stupid. Now, what can I say about Ernest Scared Stupid? Now, since Ernest has always been my childhood icon, and when I heard the trailer of it, I was so interested to see the horror side of Ernest. And now, of course, I remember back then in my audio, my first Halloween special called Multi-Voice Reviewer Halloween Special Scared Crazy, I mentioned Ernest Scared Stupid when Kita Grawl said, introduce us to her troll. I mean, I talk about Ernest Scared Stupid a lot because he's my childhood favorite. And when I first saw the movie, there were some scenes that was really scary at the time, but as I continued on watching, I started to see more of the humor than the horror. And how the story goes, Ernest's great grandfather, he was a holy man back then, and he imprisoned an evil troll called Trantor. And he imprisoned him by burying him under an oak tree. And sadly, and of course, now Ernest, who is a descendant to that holy man, he lives his entire life as a garbage man. He goes around town collecting up garbage and such, and the sheriff is doing exactly what the mayor tells him, even though the mayor has two kids who are bullies, and the sheriff has a son who likes the girl who talked about the history of the troll in from their town's history. And Ernest decided to meet the old lady played by the first black Catwoman in history, Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt is supposed to be a descendant of the family who were there during the whole troll thing, and she noticed that his last name was Worrell, so she knows that he's going to bring trouble upon the town. And even though she always warns him about the troll and such, Ernest, being an idiot, he always yeah, that's ever going to happen. Until all of a sudden, he finally did something stupid. He puts his hand on the tree and say, I call off the Trantor, and now the troll has finally arrived out of his prison. Now, one thing this troll does is when he's going after the children, and every time when he grabs them, he turns them into little wooden dolls. And he's planning to have all 4 dolls so he can summon an army of other trolls to live among our world. So, Ernest, he tried to call his friend Tom and Bobby. No, not Bob and Tom from the radio show. The 2 guys that you always see in every single Ernest show. Now, Tom and Bobby in this show. Now, I've seen Bobby in every single show and movie with Ernest in it. Sometimes it's either... Now, from the beginning, it was Chuck and Bob, and then it was Bob and Tom. Tom and Bobby. And of course, in the other series, which I'm going to mention, had 2 vacuum sales guys. And of course, on another movie, it was a genius girl and Bobby. And so on and so forth. And after Ernest was dealing against the troll and also told Eartha Kitt says, the only way to destroy the troll is a heart of a child and a mother's care. What exactly is heart of a child and a mother's care? And of course, there was 2 pages stuck together, and it says, How destroyeth the troll M-I something K. It's milk! Everybody know it's milk. But of course, to Ernest, he thinks it's the authentic Bulgarian miak. What the hell's a miak? It said, according to the movie, it's supposed to come in a certain season, and it's from Bulgaria. Now, I don't know if any of you are from Bulgaria, but if miak does exist, please comment down below to tell me if miak exists or not, because I just have no idea what miak is. Is it a beverage? Is it a drink? Is it some kind of juice? I don't know. But of course, the kids, now the sheriff's son figured out it is milk. And of course, when Eartha Kitt mentioned heart of a child, it actually means unconditional love. So, the troll got all 4 of the kids, turned them into all the dolls, and all of a sudden it grew a bunch of trolls out of the ground. And every time when the people were trying to attack them, guns doesn't work. They're too strong. They can bent the barrel of a gun, or just empty out the bullets and swallow it and just. But the kids figured out it was troll, so they went to a grocery store and gathered all the milk. Every single one of them. And it turns out when they squirt the milk at them, all the trolls kept disappearing. One by one, every single troll getting killed by milk. You know, talking about milk is making me thirsty. I mean, got milk? Oh, got some milk. Mmm, milk. It does the body good and helps you against trolls. What? Ever seen somebody do a milk mustache before? You know, I always love milk because it is healthy. So one by one, each and every kid got their milk, and even powdered milk even helps. And one thing that Ernest does, I mean, one thing you got to admire about Ernest is his facial features. Like every time when something funny happens, he always makes this. Or if something disgusting happens, he go like, But anyway, the main troll, Trantor, he made himself so powerful that not even milk can kill him. But Ernest found one, but figured out what heart of a child is unconditional love. So, Ernest grabs the troll, did a little dance, and then he was like, "You're so cute." And then he kissed him, and everybody knows that that troll, I mean, he has slime and boogers coming out of his nose and everything. I mean, when Ernest kissed him, he was like, "Ew." But of course, the troll was dead. And everybody lives happily ever after. But believe it or not, those Ernest movies, Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Goes to Jail, and Ernest Scared Stupid, they're all part of Disney. Until after, I mean, Ernest Scared Stupid didn't go successful in the movie theaters, so that's why Disney wanted to cancel Ernest. Too bad. Should have belonged in Disney Plus. But you can easily find Ernest on Roku or Tubi. Anyway, after the whole deal ended between Ernest and Disney, there were some more independent Ernest movies out there, like Ernest Rides Again, Ernest Goes to School, Slam Dunk Ernest, starring Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 1995, Ernest Goes to Africa, 1997, and of course, last but not least, in 1998, Ernest in the Army. Now, they were planning to make more Ernest movies, but sadly, Jim Varney passed away in the year 2000. So, too bad. And of course, a lot of people, in case you don't know about Jim Varney, he did the voice of Slinky the dog. He played Jed in the remake of the Beverly Hillbillies. So, I mean, not only that he did Ernest movies, he also have done other things as well. It's just too bad not many people don't even recognize him. But he have done other movies, and even some that are kind of Ernest related, but not exactly saying Ernest. And you know, I do miss Jim Varney because he was one of my childhood icon actors and played my childhood favorite icon of all, Ernest P. Worrell. And I will miss him. I really do. Here's to Jim Varney. May he rest in peace. And of course, here's another thing I also discovered. a little known fact, there were a few scripts that they were planning with Ernest, like Ernest Becomes a Pirate or Ernest in a Tropical Island. And believe it or not, there was another Halloween special besides Ernest Scared Stupid. They were planning an idea that Ernest ends up in a haunted house. Ernest in a haunted house, dealing against ghosts and supernaturals. I mean, Troll was close enough, but it would be pretty cool to see Ernest dealing against ghosts and everything. You know what I mean? And you know one thing I wish I like to have? I like to have one of those talking dolls of Ernest, because when Ernest got so popular, they made a talking doll of him. And it's one of those pull string ones. Maybe I should do another Halloween special, maybe next year, next Halloween. I should do one where I'm involved in a haunted house. Will be a work in progress, but might be something to think about. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is my review of Ernest Scared Stupid of today. So, any of you admired what I did for Jim Varney and talk about Ernest and all that stuff, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe. And as for me, I'm gonna get myself some more milk because this is good stuff. Well, see you guys later.